Okay, today we're going to talk about tenant screening, conducting background checks, and I'm going to put up on the screen what I call a 5-finger check. Let me go first through the 5 things that we check. We want to check their credit. We want to check their criminal history. We want to check their financial history. We want to check Landlord 1 and Landlord 2 because the best indicator of future performance is past performance. Okay, so let's go through each of these. When you check their credit report, the things that you primarily are interested in are, do they pay their rent? Do they pay their car payment? Are they seriously delinquent on anything? Do they have judgments? If they have judgments or they're seriously delinquent, that is a risk that you might have their wages garnished so that they can't pay rent. Do they have foreclosures, repossessions, evictions, or bankruptcies? Those things indicate risk, and you ought to very seriously look at each of those things. Most landlords don't rent to people who have those things, or they require co-signers or higher deposits in such cases. Okay, now let's talk about criminal history. Many cities in Utah have these good landlord programs that require you to deny people who within the last 4 years have been convicted of a serious type of crime. Let's list the 4 most serious types of crime as it relates to rental property. Number 1 is sex crimes. Sex crimes are a PR disaster. If you've got a sex criminal, convicted criminal in one of your rentals, the whole neighborhood's going to know about it because it's public information. We have these things called Megan's List, and people can go right on there, and then they're mad at you, and then they move out, and your tenants move out. It's very important that you check for those types of things. Second, drug crimes. Now, some people say drugs not a big deal, they're legal in some states, but here's the reality is that in rentals, drug crimes lead to all sorts of other crimes, violent crimes, theft, and when people can't afford their drug habit, they use their rent money to afford their drug habit. So it's very, very risky for you to rent to people who have drugs, and not to mention that if they contaminate your apartment, it could cost you thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars to remediate or clean that up, particularly methamphetamine. Please be careful that you're not renting to people with certain types of serious drug convictions recently in their record. I mean, 10 years ago they had a little issue and they're fine ever since, fine. But if it's recent, very risky. Third type is violent crimes. You don't want violent criminals. You don't want domestic violence. You want people that terrorize each other or other neighbors on your property. And then the last is property crimes. You don't want arsonists. You don't want taggers. You don't want graffiti artists. They can damage your property, and they can cause you all sorts of grief too. When the police investigate things and they come break down your doors and they throw flashbangs in your apartment, they don't pay for that. That's your responsibility. Your insurance usually doesn't pay for it either. So be very careful that you are very serious about your criminal background check. Okay, financial. Check their employer. Get check stubs. Get tax returns. Talk to someone about the stability of their employment. Have they been employed stably for a while? Are they a good long-term, employee, or do they have some type of income, whether it's from a government source, whether it's from a pension, whether it's from child support or alimony or something like that, or parents supporting them in college? Make sure that you check their financial and make sure that they have enough wherewithal to pay your rent, first of all, and to continue to pay your rent. Now, many people use what we call the triple rent rule. I'm going to throw that up on the board. That basically is the combined gross household income must be 3 times the rental rate. And this makes sense. In America, we say you should only spend about 1/3 of your income on housing. So if you want to rent a $1,000 place, you should have about a $3,000 income. Now, this is up to you. You can certainly modify it. You can take it 4 times or 2.5 times or do whatever. But you wouldn't want to rent a $1,000 place to someone who only made $1,500. How are they going to eat, pay their car payment, and their rent? It's just not going to work. Okay, the next is the landlord references. You need to ask specific questions, and these questions need to be objective, not subjective. A subjective question that's most commonly asked that you're not going to ask is, would you rent to them again? Okay, who cares? You don't care one bit about that landlord's opinion. You care if they meet your rental criteria. So I'm going to throw up rental criteria, and you're going to ask questions based on the rental criteria. Do they pay on time? Have they had any problems? Were there any criminal acts? Did they owe you any money when they left? How many pets do they have? How many occupants that they have. Things like that help you establish whether or not they meet your criteria versus subjective questions like, did you like them, or are they a good person? Irrelevant. Doesn't matter. We're trying to see if they're a good risk for you. So that's what a 5-finger background check is, and hopefully this will help you reduce the risks that you take when you rent a place to a renter. They can do a lot of damage very quickly. It takes time and effort and money to evict them should they stop paying or cause a problem. You need to do good background checks to protect yourself. Thank you. Hope that helped.